Welcome to the Hardy Brothers Podcast, where we talk about the paranormal, earth mysteries, and so much more. Sit back and relax and enjoy the Hardy Brothers Podcast.
Welcome to the Hardy Brothers Podcast.
I'm Keith Hardy,
I'm Scott Hardy.
and we are the Hardy Brothers. And here we go for our first podcast of 2022.
2022, and we're coming to you from North Webster, under Lake Webster. We're under the lake.
We're under the lake. We're below lake level.
Yeah.
Is that really a thing? I suppose if your house is flooded, it could be.
Yeah.
All right. So what the hell you want to talk about, little brother?
Well, how was 2021 for you, Deed?
Well, it was interesting. I mean, we had a good year financially, but it's like there's a change shortage, and I don't understand that. And I think it's where did all the change go? I mean, at work we're only allowed to use debit or your Apple Pay or whatever, right? And so I said, well, just go to the bank and get some change, and then you just recycle that change, and you put in what the drawer needs for the day, and all that stuff's been figured out. The cafeteria's been there for 40 years.
Yeah.
So where did all the change go is my big question, because like people go to deposit it. I know I deposit $80 to $100 in change every year, and buy Christmas money with it. I have a big old peanut jar. I just put the old quarters and dimes, nickels, and pennies. And my understanding is the bank won't even recycle those anymore. So maybe that's why they don't have any change, because everybody's got it in their homes. I don't know. That was a big mystery for me in 2021. I'm trying to figure out where all the change went. So if you know anybody out there, or let us know where the hell all the change is.
Is it going to be like gold and they're going to make us turn it all in at one point?
What? That's funny. I wonder. I was thinking the same. They'll probably make us, hey, everybody turn your change in.
For sure. I've got a bunch. Uncle Pat was here the other night, and he was looking at my change jar. He goes, "Oh, man, Scotty, you got about $400, $500 in there." I said, "You can tell by looking." He goes, "Oh, yeah, buddy."
Yeah, he's got an eye for change. Matter of fact,
I don't doubt him. I thought it was funny.
Well, he was over at Mom and Dad's this morning. He was just getting ready to leave, and so I went over there to have some breakfast, and he was going to stop in, what's it called, Winchester or Silvertown, and it's in Winchester, Indiana. I guess it's about an hour from here, or a little bit more southeast, and silver. He's going to go look at some silver bars or silver coins or something. Yeah. So I'll look it up.
Is it coming to that? Is it coming to the cashless society? Do you think that's going to happen in the next year or two?
Well, that seems to be the way things are going. It's called Silvertown Mint. That's where he's going.
Cool.
But that seems to be the way it's going. I mean, everything you see is currently, like anything online, any podcasts, guys, economic guys, everything's going digital. So you get the cryptocurrency is real popular right now.
NFTs.
I'm not gonna. Yeah.
Do you know anything about NFTs?
I know very little. A friend of mine at work has some, or invests in that. I don't fully understand it yet. He explained it to me once, but then he went to Florida and he's still there. I should see him. He should be back this week. So
cool. Well, yeah. Pick his brain and let me know what he's thinking. Yeah. All I know about it is what I watched on South Park couple weeks ago, and it was hilarious, as South Park is, but NFTs. And then I see one of my favorite bass players, Leland Sklar. He is doing NFTs, so he was kind of explaining what he's doing. So I need to read up more on that. It was on Facebook the other day, so I'm like, what? So digital currency for sure, and so it's coming, I think. The change shortage, and I mean, what is paper money anyways? It's
fiat currency, it's
you're
not
right.
worth the paper it's printed on. So if you print,
But then again, is digital, that's like virtual reality.
well, yeah, my understanding with the digital currency, their algorithms are put in place, so there's only so much that can be created. Or like in Bitcoin's case, since it's the most popular one, you can mine it, but you can only mine so much of it, and then there's no more to mine. That's it. Once it's all mined up, so then it creates that. What do you call it? There's a shortage, or there's only so many. So
Scarcity.
yeah, so then it creates value for that
Value.
particular coin.
Man,
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like supply and demand is what I
Hey.
guess the word I was looking for.
We're still stuck on the monetary system, whether it's paper, bars of gold or silver,
Yeah.
or now digital currency. It's bizarre to me, and I think there's got to be a better way. Sometimes I just feel enslaved to the people I work for, and I'm not complaining, but I just sometimes feel like I like nice things, right? We like nice houses or cars,
Yeah.
lots of toys, maybe. Not that we need all that,
Well, you don't
but
need
we
anything,
trade.
but
Here
I
we
mean, you know what I
are.
mean? You need food and water
feel like
and
we're-
shelter,
I f-
right? The basics, but
But we have all this cool stuff, or a nice house. We need shelter, but yeah,
Yeah,
I'd like a
shelter.
nice shelter, right?
well, yeah, sure.
But I feel like I'm enslaved to that debt because I took out a 30-year mortgage. So maybe I shouldn't have taken out a 30-year mortgage.
Well,
Is there a better way?
yeah, pay
is
cash
there-
for it. I mean, you could have waited and saved
that's
up,
what I'm
but
saying.
no, because that's this. Yeah, the system we're under
That's the
forces
system.
that. Now there is such a thing as good debt, and there's such a thing as bad debt. Now, a mortgage on your home can be considered good debt because you have equity in your home. Now, if you suck all the equity out of your home and the market crashes, then it's bad debt. So it's one of those you have to be real careful about how much you purchase your home for or how much equity you take out of your home. Now, real quick, those NFTs, I was trying to remember what they were called, and it's a non-fungible token. Yeah.
I think Tim Dillon he was on Rogan last week. If you ever listen to Joe Rogan, and
Sure.
Tim's great. I love that guy, and he was telling Rogan that he should start his own digital currency,
right,
so that
right.
his fans could just pay for all his stuff with his currency. And I was getting a kick out of that conversation. And I think he brought up NFTs. I might be wrong.
So what it stands for non-fungible token, and then basically the definition, it's a one-of-a-kind digital asset that belongs to you and only you.
Wow.
Most popular NFTs right now include artwork and music, but can also include videos and even tweets. So that's what it is, non-fungible token.
I'm quite versed in the Facebook world. That's about the only form of social media I use. I don't know hardly anything about Twitter, tweets, whatever. I mean, I'm aware of it, and I know people get on there, and it's a huge, huge thing. And I do have an account, but I don't ever use that.
I think my wife has a Twitter handle, I think, because she does the books for the boys basketball.
Yeah.
So in order for her to keep up with, I don't think she tweets anything for that. Somebody else does that, but she needs to get that information, and she does it through Twitter platform.
That's cool.
If she can't get a hold of, she clearly texts and whatever. But yeah, the Twitter. There's so many different platforms you can use to communicate,
Yeah.
and I just text. I mean, I text you, and that seems to be the simplest one.
You
It comes
have a
with the
simple
phone.
circle.
I don't.
You keep your circle
right.
real
Right.
small. Well,
Hey, I'm not famous or infamous. I just am.
Yeah.
And
well,
so
to
I
be
keep
or
it
not
simple.
to be,
Right.
And
Yep.
I like simple. The older I get, Deed, when I was younger, and I still play, right, but yeah, I wanted to be. I don't know if a rock star. I probably wanted to be a rock star, but I definitely wanted to be a professional musician, and write hit songs or be a part of hit music. Right? I did want that. And then the older I get, I'm like, well, I'm still really good. So, the getting out of the famous. I could care less if I'm famous, but if I made some wealth, that's all right with me. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, there's a lot of wealthy people out there that nobody knows who in the hell they are.
And and
Hey,
I like that. I appreciate
yeah,
that. And that
yeah.
even though we all know about Benjamin Franklin, man, that dude was just invented everything. I can't imagine the patents and the royalties he would be making now. That's how I want to be, like a behind the scenes kind of a guy. Although I
Well,
do
not even behind the scenes, just collecting the money.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
okay. And speaking of collecting money, what's that going to be in the next year or two? Is it going to be?
Right.
Is it going to be
Digital
Bitcoin? You know what I'm
currency,
saying?
some non-fungible token,
It
whatever
definitely
that
ain't
is.
going to be quarters and nickels and dimes, right?
Unless you come to my house, and I got some to spare.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So I guess
Hell,
we
here's
should.
a quarter right here on the table.
Yeah, there you go. Take
Yeah,
that home
take
and
that. Thanks.
be priceless heirloom here in the next 5 years.
2021. All right. Good
I
year.
need to brushing up on my digital currency. I know you've been telling me to look into it and invest in a little, and I need to do that.
I don't. I'm not sure if we're going to post this podcast anywhere, if it's just kind of a test run, but
We're posting.
okay. Well, there's a lot of YouTube videos out there about this stuff. Clearly, we're not people you want to take advice from when it comes to investing or digital currency.
Please
But-
don't.
Yeah. But I like XRP. It's a Ripple platform. You have to buy it through Uphold currently because they're being challenged by the SEC, so they no longer trade in the U.S. But I do like digital currency. Dogecoin is another one that's kind of popular. I don't have any of it currently, but I plan on getting a little bit.
Now, was that started by Elon Musk?
No. But
Okay.
he encouraged.
He encouraged.
He
it,
encouraged
correct,
use.
okay.
Mentioned it, and
Okay.
I've got some Shibu Inu, which to me is just a shit coin. It's just a
Shibu Inu. I like that.
yeah, and but if it goes to a penny, which is it'd be 10 years before it gets to 1 cent. But I've got 10 million shares. Well, do the math, right? It's $100,000. It's a penny if it goes to a penny. So
Okay.
try and keep it. But that's just one that if you got an extra $300 or $400, yeah,
Is that a gamble?
yeah, that one. In my mind, it is. I mean, but the XRP
but again,
one is
what kind
solid.
of investing isn't, right?
Right. Well, this is true, but also I've got. I don't day trade or do setting. I buy. I get a certain amount in my mind that I want, or that I after I collect all the information, I say, okay, well, I need or want this many, and that's what I buy, and then that's it. Let it hold it see where it's at the end of a year, 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
So the odds of it going up continually over the next 10 years
Probably
is pretty good.
Mhm.
Yeah. So. Throw a little bit, and people say you should be diversified.
Yeah, sure. That's well, we know it's. I believe that it's coming. I think it's going to be. I mean, look. We know the people like Zuckerberg, who created Facebook and stuff. And now he's got this new metaverse. Supposed to be, I guess, like a metaphysical, maybe a virtual reality type world or whatever. That. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's cool, but it seems like that's where we're headed. We're headed and Elon Musk working on Neuralink, where he's gonna, we'll be able to, our brains will be compatible with the computers. Will be like an interface between man and computer. I like all that. I do. I really do. It might enhance us, but I don't want to see, like cassette tapes, records are gone. Of course, vinyl's back, but they were gone for a long time. 8 tracks, they're gone. Cassette tapes completely gone. CDs pretty much obsolete now. Is that going to be money next? No coins. Oh, we don't need the paper money. You know what I'm saying? And is that going to be us? going from physical, tangible things we can touch, hold, feel, count, to some sort of, matrixed being,
Well, let me pose this question. What is your challenge with letting go of an old idea of having physical things, tangible things? If we weren't raised that
Memories.
way, if we weren't, but your memories would be enhanced with computer help, right? Or with AI. But if we
Yeah.
weren't raised to have all these physical things, like we spoke earlier of buying a house, all we need is food, water, shelter, or food, shelter, and whatever. But if you wanted a nicer or bigger house, right? You want a bigger shelter, but why? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
What is
why?
the need for that? I don't know. It's
What
just,
if you? That's funny.
just an
what
idea.
What if we lived in the metaverse and it was,
Well, I think I know where you're going with this, but the physical carcass is what passes on in this life. It's only good
Yeah,
for,
true.
according to the Bible, you're good for about 120 years, give or take. Most people go before that. But the spirit, the soul lives on. It goes somewhere. And maybe that's what the Facebook, this metaverse, or Elon Musk is trying to do with connecting to the digital realm or whatever, so that your
virtual.
soul can move on or live on in this life. And I don't know, maybe I don't know. We've painted a broad brush today. We're talking about everything,
we're,
but it's
we're right on track because I'm keeping us on track with the money. Since you brought it up first, it's
well,
all coming
I think
back
that's
to
the
money.
key. Yeah, the whole
In digital, how it's going to become digital.
Digital,
Just
yeah.
like
Right.
what my point was the money. Music's gone digital, movies, things like that.
Yes,
Well,
yes, yeah.
money is next. Well, what? Soon the human soul's going to be digital, or the human experience
the
is going to
human
be
experience. Yeah, and that to me, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, and if I had to say right now, I would say but because growing up, I loved being in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed seeing things that I didn't know what they were, and then
Yeah.
someone else, a human,
Exploring.
explained it to me.
Mhm,
Yes,
yeah.
I didn't Google it. We didn't have that stuff back
No.
then. We did have a VIC 20, and our
first
friend had a
computer.
Commodore 64, but all we had on them was Rat Race, and you had to type in
Radar.
input. Yeah, radar,
right.
Rat Race.
And
Yeah.
I remember you were doing. I still play that game when I see it in arcades. They have the old nostalgic games
Yeah.
like Rally X, right? Which was
Right.
Radar Rat Race.
Radar
with
Rat Race with the
a cat.
You had a cat, a mouse, and
Mouse,
some cheese. You had to go
yeah.
eat the little cheeses. Yeah.
And oh man, I still play that, and I'm like, man, this is fun. Had the radar. You could look at the radar and see where the flags
see
were.
where
and
the
stuff.
flags were.
No, that's good stuff. I love those video games. But yeah, you're right. We being outside and
We'll see.
Sports, or whatever.
The physical
But-
aspect, it gives you that energy that increases your personal frequency. If you don't go out and
Yes.
run, you don't get that. You don't. The sweat, the heart rate, everything just stays stagnant if you don't get up and move around. Yeah.
Changes the way the brain functions.
Absolutely, yeah.
In the
You
way
got to release
yeah.
those
But-
chemicals from working out or whatever.
So that is a reality, right? That's
a physical reality.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what if the AI or the things like Neuralink is so good and perfect, or not? I shouldn't say perfect, but what if it's designed so that, let's say we're plugged in, like we have our headphones on right now, right? Let's say we're plugged in, and we could be in a virtual woods that we think is our reality.
What was that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? That
Total Recall?
Total Recall. Remember?
Yeah.
He took a vacation.
Yeah,
and,
went to
and there was a little
Mars
glitch in the Matrix there, and he flipped out, and
It set.
he realized he was being set up.
Yeah, it reset his memory is what
Yeah.
it did. So that was a cool movie. That was a great
but
movie. I
that's
loved that
exactly
movie.
what you're talking about.
yeah, what if it's so good you can't tell the difference, and you might not ever know there was a difference.
Right.
You
Now
might
let's
not.
Yeah, and so let's give a little shout out to Jordan Maxwell because he was the one that kind of brought that to the forefront. That Hollywood, you watch what Hollywood does, and then that becomes reality. And so maybe because he had mentioned that, and Total Recall was what in the 1980s.
80, I want to say
or
88,
if not the
89.
early 90s, but
No,
still.
it was 80s.
Maybe
1990.
Yeah, I mean we could Google it, but the point is, what you're talking about. They've made a movie just like that. This guy was experiencing whatever experience digitally and relaxing vacation or whatever the hell the case was, and then all of a sudden he got an overload. His brain went back to normal, and he got his old memories back, and he went ballistic to get the hell out of there and back to reality.
Yeah, awesome movie.
Yeah, good movie.
Arnold's still making movies. Can you believe it?
Yeah,
I love them. I don't care what they're like.
I think you ought to make a movie on how to bang your maid. I think that would be a good movie, and they could make it rated R.
All his movies.
Nah, you know what? We're all human beings and we make mistakes, but I think a lot of people were more shocked that
1990.
Yeah. Okay, 1990.
I remember I was in 8th
Total
grade.
Recall. Yeah.
1990 for Total Recall, and it had, of course, Sharon Stone was in it, and Michael Ironside. That guy's great. He was Richter. I see you at the party, Richter. When he throws his arms at him and when he tears him off on the elevator. I see you at the party, Richter. Well, so now here, we're talking about digital currency and things like that. So what if, like, let's say the metaverse or a virtual reality takes over? And just like today, Deed, where the more money you have, you seem to be a little more, maybe powerful with politicians or in the town, or you're revered when you have a lot of wealth, right? We seem to revere people for some reason. Well, what if it's the same way? Like, okay, if you're real wealthy and you have a kick-butt car or a mansion, something like that. Well, what if it's the same way? What if they control it to where we're in this Matrix-style metaverse, but I was just a machinist or I worked in a factory, so I don't get to build a huge house or drive an awesome car or something like that,
So you're part of the digital realm is you're just a
Labor.
worker bee.
Yeah, labor.
Well, yeah.
Now that don't sound like fun to me.
Well, I guess if you can build your own digital reality.
Well, what if you invest in the Bitcoins and the XRPs and you end up
Trillionaire or something goofy. Oh, sorry.
Well, yeah, and then you can, you're in the Matrix and you're whatever, I don't know. You know what a nice virtual reality would be? Me on an awesome beach in the Bahamas, drinking margaritas and eating conch all day,
Well, yeah, I like the tropical climates too. If we're gonna switch to that, I'd be in Key West. But
I hear you there.
Yeah,
there used to be a show on Deed when we were in high school. It was called Key West. YouTube that sometime. That was a magical, awesome show. Of course, it was on Fox. It was great, dude. You got to check that out because I fell in love with Key West, Florida because of that show. I'm like, I'm going there. That's what I want to do. So you got to check that. YouTube that and check it out.
I'll check it out because I just watched a documentary on Mel Fisher, who moved from California to Florida and then to Key West to search for the Atocha, the Spanish shipwreck of 1622, I believe.
Wow.
He found it. 16 years.
Oh, man, he did find it.
16 years to find it.
Wow.
He found it. Then the federal government came in and seized everything, $400 million worth of stuff. And then he ended up, it is. But the courts ruled in his favor.
Oh, good.
And set the precedence for all shipwrecks found, yada, yada. But it was a great story. And his museum was one that we didn't visit on the last trip to Key West, but we will visit on the next trip. And
Oh yeah,
so that was my first
you'd
trip
love
down
that.
there. Key West was phenomenal. It was amazing. There was just so much, just so much to do, and it's only a 4x2 island.
It's amazing.
And it's unbelievable how, there's just, it's a lot of fun. The people are fun. We went in the off season, so we went just after Labor Day weekend. And so it was great. But, if my digital currency reality and had gazillion dollars, I would be on a boat, and it doesn't have to be a big one, but just big enough to have a bed in it and a
big
stove
enough
and a
to,
refrigerator, and I'm good to go.
Yeah, big enough to escape the storms that
Yeah.
might be lingering.
Oh, I'd just stay in the harbor. But
okay, I got you.
Yeah, Key West.
Like Crockett.
Yeah, there was, what was really neat about that, we would sit at sunset. I'm guessing it's on the west side of the island. The island was kind of at an angle, so the north, I was a little turned around. But anyway, there were two islands, so you could look out and see, and one was habited with houses and whatever, and the other one was uninhabited. And people, it had a beautiful sandy beach. People between those two islands and the Key West island, they would just anchor their boats. Sailboats, yachts, you name it, was out there. Little cruisers like the neighbors had with just a little cuddy cabin you can go under. And that's it. And they had a little dinghy attached to the boat, and they would come into the marina and go to the restaurant, get some food, go to the grocery store, get some groceries, and bag all that stuff, put it in their little boat, and go back out to their boat house. I thought that was the coolest thing.
It is the coolest thing, and I can only imagine how happy and healthy those people are.
Unbelievable. I mean, you did not.
Which goes to
none
show
of those
you
people are grumpy. I guarantee it.
We don't need half the crap that we have.
Somebody, I mentioned it. Was it yesterday? I was talking to somebody about that, and they said, "Well, I mean, how would you like to live in a little tiny boat and out in the?" And I go, "Are you kidding me? I would love it
to watch the sun rise or set on the ocean.
More? I mean, what more do you want?
How much
what do you
more
need?
peace
I
would
mean,
you need?
it's just that's the whole bit. And wouldn't you get tired of living in that little tiny? And no, not at all. There are too many books that need to be read that I'll never be able to read in a lifetime. And
get plenty of exercise by swimming.
Visiting islands, different islands.
Yeah, that'd be
I mean,
nice.
I think it would be. I would.
It's
that
like
would be
an
that would be an
explorer's
interesting
life.
Yeah. But I live where I live now. I'm on the water, and I like that. And so I think
that helps.
When I retire from the factory job that I have now, I'll just head south in the winter.
Key West, just like
that's
going to
be my main.
did.
Yeah, Key West will be my main thing, and of course we do like San Diego, California. Tybee Island will be another one. Savannah, Georgia is beautiful. But I don't need to travel the world and don't really care to. There's the only thing I would like to maybe do one day, Ireland, France, to see some of the abandoned castles.
Yeah, Ireland would be nice.
I think Ireland would be cool, and I know France has some really cool castles that are abandoned. And I don't, England, of course, has probably more castles than any of them, maybe, and Scotland is the other place. But I don't want to. Those are places that they're not top priority, but it'd be kind of fun to go visit one time because the weather's, maybe not so good over there.
Well, we're going to wrap this up, Deed, because we're almost at a half an hour. And we're going to put this on some platform, probably YouTube, and I'll advertise it on my Facebook.
All right. If you like to hear the Hardy Brothers ramble on about nothing in particular.
Well,
we did pretty good with the digital currency, I guess.
Yeah.
We kind of stuck on that and the digital world itself. But anyway, this was a fun podcast. Hopefully we'll be able to do another one.
Yeah, make sure you study up on digital currency and maybe do some investing, and we can get one of them to take off.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. want to thank you for tuning in. We are the Hardy Brothers, and we'll catch you next time.
Later.